3 reasons why our coil collaboration is twice the shoe at half the price of the world famous Common Projects. Number 1, significantly better leather. Number 2, instead of all this foam and cardboard filling on the inside, we actually use vegetable tan leather for the insole. And number 3, for the first time that we've ever seen, we did that strobel stitch construction with that vegetable tan leather insole. And no one had ever done that before. So unique. They sold out almost immediately last time, and they're back in stock on Thursday. So sign up below.
Double Grant Stone unboxing. I don't even know what's in this. Just kind of a surprise random 2-box drop. So let's get right into it. It's a big knife box. Dimco. I was gonna pull in Dimcos out because I have so many of them. I accidentally pulled this little Knafs knife screwdriver, the Knafs Torx. The Knafs Torx driver is inspired by a massive Saturn V rocket, the 363-foot tall, 110-meter projectile that blasted astronauts to the moon. Alas, our tool won't take you beyond low Earth orbit, but it will take you on the grand adventure of maintaining your pocket knives. And okay, so it's a little pocket knife kit. And that's pretty darn cool too. We wish you the best of luck tearing down your knives, swapping parts, and finding lost screws in your carpet. Yeah, it's for real. It has an aluminum driver, T6 Waha bit, Weha. I don't even know what that is. That's just like a little hex bit, star bits. I don't know what the official names of some of these little things are. Yeah, it's just little star bits. Did you say it was titanium or just metal? Aluminum. It's aluminum. It has little rubber bands that keep the little screwdriver bits in place. Yeah, they're the little star heads. Would it work on this Dimco knife? Let's find out. Yeah, okay, it does. Because in my Dimco knife that I stole, it had the blade that I liked, but it didn't have the scales I liked, so I swapped out the scales. And that's a little handy tool to do that. Let's get to it. Let's split the boxes first. Okay. You don't know who Grant Stone is? They're arguably the best boot company per dollar spent on the topper end of like heritage, traditionally made footwear, because they're made in China, but they're about as finely made as any boot is made currently. But because they're made in China, they're really affordable. And instead of following this trend of what most brands do, where they're like, okay, establish a brand being made somewhere and they ship it all to China and it's really cheap and all the quality drops. We've seen it nonstop. Like Doc Martens, probably like the #1 brand that most people know that did that. Whereas Grant Stone, Wyatt worked in a factory in China for like 5 years. And then at a certain point, he's like, why don't we just like make our own little Goodyear welted line? Like, you know, because all these brands that are coming into this factory, they want it cheaper and cheaper. And so they have to cut corners. And Wyatt, the owner or CEO of Grant Stone, was like, why don't we just make our own private line and just make them as high quality as humanly possible in this factory that's actually capable of making the highest quality boots in the world, instead of what everyone else assumes. It's just like everyone ships their stuff over there and it's as cheaply made as possible. This factory was one of the higher quality factories. And so it kind of came from a unique birth, you know, because so many people automatically assume anything made from China is cheap. Clearly, that's not the case. And what an uphill battle for Grant Stone, you know what I mean? Like, and even from my perspective, I talk nonstop about how cheap stuff from China is and how these brands moved over to Ford and mass production. And so it's a huge uphill battle for Grant Stone. And yet, because of their quality, because they refuse to sacrifice on anything, and Wyatt literally went around the world collecting leather from all over the place. I think like the lining leathers from like Milwaukee, the upper leathers a lot of times from Chicago, the sole bends are from like Mexico. They're like, he goes around and chooses all the best stuff because he had 5 years experience doing that in the factory before they even started Grant Stone. So it's a cool story. What do we have? Let's find out. Gotta love Grant Stone's packaging because this is not your classic corrugated box. You know, like this is your corrugated. You have like the space in between, and they make these on a big clicker press or like a roller press. They click them out flat. They ship them flat. Like our packaging is the same way. It's just colored. Paper wrap boxes you can't ship flat, and so instead of having this thickness full of 40 pieces, 20 pieces of cardboard, you have one box. And that's because it's literally paper wrap. They wrap these by hand and glue them with paper, so they literally can't be shipped flat. And so when you see a paper wrap box, you know that the brand went hard on the packaging because it's a lot more expensive, it's a lot more labor intensive. And so they're really putting the effort to make the brand look as good as the brand hopefully is. Let's see, a little add-in thing here. Initial fit, place your shoe/boot on carpet or shoe bag. That's really nice. They send this big boy. Literally, so you can just try them on without voiding your warranty. Nice little note. Big fan of the channel. Grandson always, I've got about 1,000 of these little shoe horns that's in this bag, I think. Because we've done Grant Stone so many times. Yeah, they have these little, I have like 1,000 of these little things. Extra shoelaces. Okay, what is it? What did we get sent? Let's find out. Ooh, feels like a wax flesh something. It's taller. Whew, that is a slick boot. Oh my gosh. Very like dress oriented. Kind of has that Alden Indie kind of vibe to it, where the simple sidewall or quarter panel, there's no external counter cover, but it's even more simple. Instead of having that stitch line through here, it's just completely blank. That's a good looking shoe, boot. The outsole is kind of like your dress style. It's similar to like a day night. You know, it's got these little nubs, give you some traction, displace the water so you don't hydroplane. Because that was the funny thing about all the backlash we got about the Alden. So I was like, I hate these soles. They're not grippy at all. And that was like one thing that all the Alden lovers were like, what are you talking about? It's the grippiest sole in the world. And I'm like, okay, grippiest compared to what? It's completely flat. Like, it's surprisingly grippy. Okay, just trust me, it's surprisingly grippy. I'm like, okay. You know, and it was like, this compared to that flat sole, worlds different, because when you actually step on water, you step on something, that water gets displaced into these little pockets, so it gives you grip instead of hydroplaning. When you're on uneven surfaces, you have more lugs, more grip. Like if you're, say you have to do a little hike in these, not that you would, but like walking up grass, walking up a little hillside, you know, whatever it happens to be, this provides a lot more grip. And I like this kind of outsole. I like the little day-night style. Still super flat and classy, but actually gives you some traction. And look how wide the platform of this is. It's definitely a more anatomical, comfortable last, because you got the low heel, you got that wide, generous forefoot. Grass stones are comfy. And what is this boot? Let's find out. This is the Edward boot in wax tobacco. I think we might have to scratch a little bit of it just to see how the undertones come out. Because we reviewed their diesel boot, which is like regular boot with the external counter. It's one of their more famous boots. It's really high quality. We've done their brass boot, which is like their mock toe. We've even done the Ottawa boot, I'm pretty sure. It's like the split toe, mock toe. We did the Garrison boot too, actually, because this one was really cool because it was deer skin, which deer skin is almost always like, it's like fabric. It's so like, the temper's so soft. It's a really glovey Edward boot. Okay, here it is. So the Edward boot so on the box it says wax tobacco. On the listing it's tobacco waxed commander. So, and I think before I read the description, I think it's a CF Stead. Oh, it is. Imagine that. The Edward is a classic service boot. It has larger quarters and slightly different details than the diesel, such as smaller hardware, an extra eyelet creating a dressier feel. CF Stead's waxy commander has a generous amount of wax, creating a distressed appearance as the lighter base will begin to show with wear. It is a resilient article that only improves with age. Let's find out. I'm just gonna scratch down here, because then we can always cover it up if I need to. So I'm just taking the blade flat, just kind of scraping off that wax coat just to give us an idea of what that undertone is. All right, kind of like a rusty brown under. So over time, as you scuff that up, that's going to start lightening up. You know, this is similar tone to the brown wax brown wax flesh from Horween that we've used on a lot of the indie series collaborations we've done with Knix. And so if you've seen that, that's basically the same leather. But this is just like a dressier version. It's hard to see if this is a grain suede or a true suede. I think usually Commander is a grain suede, because CF Stead is known for making suede. But most of their most popular stuff isn't actually suede, it's grain suede. It's like a heavily sanded nubuck that then the flesh side is flipped out so it looks like suede, but you still have the strength of the grain. And that's why CF Stead is so freaking sick, and why they make the best suede in the world is because half the time it's not even true suede. It's like a smarter way of doing suede. Goodyear Welt Construction, Leo Last Waxy Commander from CF Stead, full grain kip leather lining, 360 flat welt, brass eyelets, cork filling, full grain leather counter, micro stud rubber outsole. Pretty cool. What is the Leo Last? Derived from experience of fitting and developing various orthopedic, see, I called it, see, come on. Designed for specific foot shapes, the Leo features a moderate arch, heel control, medial support, and forefoot freedom. It embodies a traditional welted shoe shape while prioritizing all-day support and comfort. Pretty slick. That is a good-looking boot. Maybe we'll reignite all the Alden bros and bring back the Alden Alternative series. It's always a good time getting those boys all fired up. Well, it's funny too because it's so obvious that they should be better than what they are for the price that they charge, and they just do everything in their power to like, well, they've got this. What about this? It's like your friend defending their. I've said this 1,000 times, but that's just what it reminds me of. It's like your friend who's defending getting back with their toxic ex. It's like, yeah, but I love him. He's just so sweet. When it's right, it's right. But it's just everyday life is so hard. It's like, yeah, you Alden bros need to relax on the Alden love. You're coming off like a toxic ex. Or getting back with your toxic ex. No, I swear, even though they used to be better, like, they're still good. Like, one day they'll get better. No, like, we have the history together. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny. We haven't hit that subject in a while. Time to bring it back. Okay, what's the other boot? Or shoe? I don't know. Let's find out. Another couple packaging bits. Okay, what is it? Woo, a Chelsea boot. I didn't even know. I don't remember knowing that Grant Stone does a Chelsea boot. Cool, that's a nice looking Chelsea. It's pretty wet, pretty like dress oriented, pretty long, more almondy toe. So what's the details on this? They call it their Chelsea boot in dark oak rough out. I actually like this leather more. It's really rusty and kind of has a lot more vibrance to it. The dark oak rough out article, the leather, is a perfect combination of a heavier weight leather with a soft, forgiving characteristic. This is a true rough out article, meaning it's a full grain leather, but the leather is turned inside out using the flesh side for the surface. Basically what we talked about with like the grain suede from CF Stead. Since the full grain side is still intact, the leather has its structure and strength while offering a waxed suede texture for unmatched character. Variations of the Chelsea boot have been a staple worldwide for nearly 2 centuries. This slip-on pattern dates back to the early 1800s as a riding boot, which is how it originally earned its paddock boot name. Only in the mid-1900s, when the boot was popular in England, when it was it referred to as a Chelsea, as the district in southwest London. The pattern carries over to multiple categories. It's easily dressed up or down, and in certain parts of the world, it's a perfect style for work boots, given the closed pattern and slip-on practicality. Cool. I really like this sole too. This is like a cool way to do a luggy sole while still keeping it like slim and a little more dressy. You know, like definitely more of like a casual boot compared to a work boot, but I think the point they're getting across is, you know, a lot of people work in RM Williams, and if you haven't seen the most recent RM Williams video, that was about as embarrassing of a brand failure as I've ever seen. It was so bad. Like, it was so bad, I was like, do we like reach out and say like, what the f***, you know? But we just ended up posting it because that's what we do. Gotta keep them honest. Okay, let's try them on. What am I wearing? Finally can start talking about it. We've been like 3 or 4 years in the works with this. Like John Lofgren World War II Japanese boots. Almost a 1-for-1 replica down to every little component. The Blake stitch, the stapled heels, the leather soles. But these things are a beast. That is the sound of a tough break-in. You can see one boot I conditioned to break it in, the other boot I left as is to kind of show you guys the difference of raw dogging a pair of World War II boots compared to like trying to ease it up and make it a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, this project's sick. I won't go too much into it. Let's try them on. I'm a 10 on the Brannock, so this would be half a size down from my Brannock size, which is usually what I do for most Heritage boots. From Red Wings to Pacific Northwest brands, I'm usually down half a size. Yeah, that seems right. Woo! It actually fits really well too. The last. This is a good last. Yeah, it fits my foot really well. Every foot's different, right? But I've got more narrow feet, and so having a more dress last with a little bit wider width fits perfectly for me. Yeah, that's nice. Ooh, I like the look of this boot because it is a lot more, like to me, this doesn't come off as like dressy. It comes off more, yeah, like military vintage style. Yeah, those are cool. I love how simple they are. Just like panel, panel, panel. Just simple, no redundant stitching, just as simple as it gets. Okay, let's try the Chelsea on. I like these leathers too. I like both of them. I just like, I always like more red and yellowy and like rusty color stuff. Wow. Yeah. Chelsea boots are always a little tough for me because I've got, oh yeah, I was gonna say like they feel a little bit loose on me, but it's because these are 10D. So I think that sizing's right. Go with for me, if you like your boots to fit like I do, I go just half a size down for my Brannock because going true to Brannock, I've got too much room in here. Golly, they look good though, huh? Cool. Okay, let me get the camera down and give you some shots up here. Yeah, look at those. Those look good. I like it. The green and kind of like the rusty color looks good. Okay. Well, if you want to see either of these cut, let me know, because I think it's just an unboxing. They just sent us these, and then at any point, if you guys want to see these, and based off the views of this video, we might cut them. So let me know if you want to see either of these cut in half. Let me know what you think, and if you do want a pair of Grant Stones, check them out below. If you want to see like the 5 videos we've cut apart of Grant Stone, we'll put those linked below, and I think that's it. So thank you guys. See ya.